Welcome back to part 2 of our Cry Your Eyes Out anime. But don't worry too much, you most likely won't cry in this one. Instead, we face a new threat that could end our immortal shape-shifting boy for good. Let's begin. In his wolf form, shortly after March's death, Fushi utilizes his acute sense of smell, but switches to March's form to find fruits when hungry. One day, he smells the old hag, who mistakes him for March, and starts a lengthy tirade about surviving alone. When Fushi turns into Joan, the hag is momentarily speechless, then resumes talking, speculating his thoughts in various forms. She believes Fushi has emotions, but lacks ways to express them. Overcome by hunger, she hallucinates Fushi's leg as pork loin and tries to bite him, but her 4 teeth cause no damage. Annoyed, Fushi transforms back into his wolf form to escape, but not before the hag, acting entitled, demands his leg. Fushi goes nope and shifts back into March to eat fruits up a tree. To pacify her, he throws fruits her way, and she happily munches on them, finally content.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, such a good girl. While walking, Fushi and the hag, Pioran, find a map, sparking Fushi's curiosity about writing as he scribbles Naruto's Leaf Village symbol. Pioran decides to teach him human language and names, enhancing his communication skills over time. They eventually sail to Takunaha, where Pioran reveals she has a boyfriend, hinting at their purpose for visiting. At night, their peace is shattered when a tree-like entity attacks Fushi, stealing his boy form with a brutal stab. Fushi shifts into wolf form as the entity morphs into a wooden boy. Hearing the commotion, Pioran wakes up and starts yelling at the imposter. Suddenly, time freezes and a divine figure appears, whispering to Fushi about the loss of his form and stating the entity is his enemy. He instructs Fushi to target a core in its midsection. As time resumes, Fushi attacks, initially as a wolf, then shifts into a polar bear when wolf form is also gone. He nearly exposes the core, but the enemy steals the polar bear form too. Crud! In his last effort, Fushi transforms into March, bravely plunges inside the enemy and yanks out its core, though the enemy snags her foot, tugging her, and in the end, we've got a powerless enemy for now. The divine figure, revealing himself as Fushi's creator, explains that the creeper exists solely to ruin his mission to safeguard humanity. Rude, right? However, seeing Fushi's baffled expression, he promises to return for future guidance. Fushi, what the heck was that thing?
I don't know. It was weird.
Well, no matter. Welcome to my home.
Nani?
Elsewhere, 2 brothers, Gugu and Shin, live a simple life, saving for their wishful, bright future. Shin farms while Gugu sells veggies. One day, dreaming of a girl he likes, a quirky old man rumored to be a dodgy beer brewer interrupts him for veggie seeds. Sorry, no seeds. That evening, Gugu finds some coins missing from their piggy bank. Shin dismisses it, suggesting theft. Suspicious. Disappointed but hopeful, Gugu repositions it and treats himself to a sweet bun, only to be ambushed by a puppy with irresistible puppy eyes. As payback, the puppy leads him to his crush, who hands him a ring to sell for returning her dog, then disappears. Sheesh, couldn't catch her name. Returning home, Gugu's spirits are high until he discovers Shin has left with all of the savings, abandoning him. Typical big bro move. Devastated by Shin's betrayal and overwhelmed with work, Gugu contemplates selling the ring, but gets distracted by a huge log coming at him. Woo, that was close. Well, crap, get out of the way! Of course, he saves the girl, who turns out to be the same ring girl his crush Rin, but not before suffering a disfiguring injury. Ignored while Rin is helped, Gugu is later found and cared for by the dodgy brewer, leaving him deformed and chunky, but alive. Nah man, life's so unfair. Adjusting to this new life, Gugu dons a helmet to hide his face. His routine changes when Pioran introduces him to Fushi, a being with mysterious powers. Their bond starts with a laugh when Fushi hilariously spits out the booze Gugu offers him. Deciding Fushi needs a proper bath, Gugu peels off his clothes and during the process, Fushi curiously removes Gugu's helmet. Gugu confesses he wears it because he's ugly, a concept Fushi parrots without understanding. Nonetheless, Gugu suggests they stick together as fellow monsters. He teaches Fushi about cleaning, cooking, and farming. Any questions about Fushi's family are met with, I don't know. Gugu shares his own tale of his brother Shin's betrayal, but holds on to hope for a reunion. That evening, when the old couple nonsensically propose selling Fushi or turning him into wine, Gugu firmly declares Fushi is his new brother, vowing to protect him. Unexpectedly, Rin visits, not for alcohol, but seeking a remedy for a scar from the log accident. Oh, and she doesn't know he was the one who saved her. Either way, Gugu is determined to help and finally sees his dream come true. Oh, look, he's blushing. So happy. But wait, oh, she has the hots for Fushi. Gugu is heartbroken, so Boozman advises Gugu to channel his heartache into self-improvement. So he tries working out. Tries.
Me too. I try.
You don't need to. Go on, shoot. Next day, Boozman lets Rin stay with them as a free helper. Great. Later, Gugu tests Fushi's abilities, thrilled to discover he can heal and replicate weapons, though not fire. Gugu, noting Fushi's discomfort when hurt, urges him to speak up if he dislikes something. Fushi transforms into a wolf, taking a break from Gugu. Rin arrives the next day looking for Fushi, of course, and thanking Gugu for the sweet pickles, which didn't really help her wound. Gugu's shock peaks when he learns Boozman modified his body to brew alcohol, currently extracting it to treat Rin's wound. What? Horrified by this violation, Gugu storms out, determined to leave. Rin confronts Boozman about the unethical modification, but he's dismissively focused on his human brewed valuable booze. Meanwhile, Fushi, back from his wolf nap, declines Rin's request to search for Gugu and disastrously offers to cook instead. Purin pouts, missing Gugu's cooking. Feeling deserted, Gugu tries but fails to rid his body of the alcohol. He returns to his old field job where, despite initial acceptance, his disfigured face and mask draw scorn. After enduring harassment that culminates in locals snatching his mask and throwing it in a puddle, Gugu finally goes unmasked, bravely confronting the royal stares. At the market, he faces judgment, but also finds support from his master, who admires his work ethic. Back at the brewery, without Gugu, Fushi struggles with chores, creating a comic mess. He seeks Purin's guidance to improve, but she insists he should find Gugu instead. Even after Fushi's little dirtball gift, she still says no. Facing rejection for his disfigurement, Gugu loses his job for being ugly. Running low on cash, he tries to sell the ring Rin gave him, but flees after the shopkeeper's probing questions. Outside, he unexpectedly encounters his estranged brother Shin in a bind. Gugu hands Shin the ring to aid him, but severs their ties, declaring they are no longer brothers. Discouraged, poor drenched Gugu returns to his tent, where he is kidnapped by the hooligans planning to sell him. In the nick of time, Fushi, in wolf form, rescues him and transforms into a bear, sending the attackers scattering. Back together, Gugu and Fushi embrace their inner monster, startling townsfolk for kicks. One day, weakened from hunger, Gugu collapses. Fushi conjures up familiar foods just from memory. As they eat, Gugu shares a painful childhood epiphany. He and Shin were never part of a family, just servants in the household that Gugu believed was their home. He found out the truth when the family moved away and didn't take them. Reflecting on his solitude, Gugu asks Fushi, the only person who sought him out, to take his form when he dies, a request Fushi accepts. Amidst his despair, Rin's sudden voice shocks Gugu into hiding his face. She's been searching everywhere for them and reveals that Boozman has offered to remove the alcohol-producing organ from Gugu for free. Despite the offer, Gugu hesitates to return, feeling exposed without his mask. Sensing Gugu's discomfort without his mask, Fushi dashes off to retrieve it. Rin confides about her microscopic scar she's self-conscious of, which Gugu bluntly dismisses as an overreaction, calling her an idiot. Frustrated, she vents about her overprotective parents stifling her individuality, while Gugu accuses her of being spoiled. Rin reveals the scar's origin origin. A bystander pushed her to safety, causing the scar, yet her parents seemed indifferent, linking her scar to familial neglect. Gugu calls her an idiot again, making her cry. After a tense silence, Rin shifts gears to ask about his facial injury, but he clams up, wary of her judgment. When she probes if he likes her, Gugu evades the question. He's just not having a good day, but ultimately apologizes for being mean, and Rin offers him to wear this bucket, which she initially presents as a gift, but later reveals it was for her, to keep her father's hired men away. After a confrontation with a thug sent to retrieve Rin, our boy chops the guy's legs, and the duo escape to a paddy field. There, understanding each other better, they share a quiet moment until Fushi excitedly interrupts with the original mask. Gugu, feeling reconciled with this situation, decides they should return to the booze man's place, having forgiven him. In a frenzied escape, Gugu and Rin are chased by Rin's attendant. Fushi disrupts the pursuit by launching himself as March, and then starts crying, buying the duo some time. Despite the distraction, his plan derails when the wood entity appears again and attacks. Alerted, Gugu rushes back to assist, but despite Fushi's protection, Gugu is thrown, accidentally sparking a fire with his regurgitated alcohol. Seizing the moment, Gugu grabs a torch and charges at the enemy, hoping to use the fire against it. Unfortunately, his little belly is out of alcohol and is quickly attacked again. Gugu, desperate to save Fushi, stumbles back to Mr. Boozeman's mansion for more alcohol, only to find out a leak has been causing it to seep into his system. No wonder he's a bit wobbly. And amid this chaos, Rin's parents arrive to take her home, planning an arranged marriage for her. Terrible timing! Rin fights for her independence, frustrated with her stifling life. In a dizzy declaration, wobbly Gugu professes his love for Rin before heading out, loaded with alcohol from Boozeman, to rescue Fushi. Pyorin blocks Rin's parents, citing the danger, as the situation outside escalates. Horrified to see an entity in bear form and Fushi missing, Gugu uses his alcohol spray to set the entity on fire. As it burns, Gugu fears the worst for Fushi. Miraculously, the entity's core releases a light absorbed by a stone, and Fushi is revived in wolf form by divine intervention, leading to a joyful reunion. Back home, the mood lightens as Gugu cooks up a memorable meal. Meanwhile, Fushi meets with, well, I guess God? Would he be God? Who knows? Anyway, he urges Fushi to leave and strengthen himself against looming threats called knockers, cautioning that his presence could endanger Gugu. Despite this, and Gugu's inability to see the divine being, Fushi chooses to stay. Years pass, and Gugu grows physically strong, maintaining the shop successfully, with Rin frequently visiting despite her restrictive family. Fushi matures too, even sporting a beard, but their deep bond remains unchanged. That's it, everyone. Join us again for more reflections and more tears throughout Fushi's human experience. Until next time, watch some of these videos. See ya!